Dang it! Welcome back, everybody. This is Mr. High Llama, and we're playing Kerbal Space Underpants, apparently. And last time we left off, we was in the Llama Orbiter, and we did our first orbit together, and that was great. And I said I was going to spend all the points I got, and I did. So this is what I bought so far. I think I bought Space Exploration, to boldly go where no man has gone before. And I bought that for a very specific reason. I wanted this mobility enhancer that allows me to climb up and down in my pod so I can get back in once we're done. Because, you know, I jump out of the pod and then I get on the ground, I can't get back up. And I also bought this too hot thermometer. And that gives us an extra thing that we can research, and it's worth a lot of points. So what I did is I put this on our thing, our little llama lander, plander, and I went back to all the old biomes that I had already explored and got all the research with this on it as well. And I also bought, yes, flight control. And I bought this for a very specific reason. A misinformed one, but a very specific one. It's got the Stay Putnik MK1, which is basically our first, I guess, like satellite module, command module. So it's unmanned, and we can use this to actually launch a spaceship without having to send any Kerbals into space. And I said to myself, that's great, that's good, let's do it. And I have 143 science points left, and I really am not sure what I want to spend it on. I could get this, and gets me the Poodle, which is the small engine for the larger scale rocket parts. Or I could buy advancements towards better understanding of how fuel flows through. Gives us the RCS thruster block, which we might want if we're going to be putting satellites up. This external fuel duct, which would definitely help us. Little RCS fuel tanks, and a little tiny Rockomax engine for satellites, which would also be very good. But the problem is I don't have the parts. I don't have the little tiny parts for satellites. I don't even know where they are. I'm guessing they're beyond here. Either that or they're beyond here for precision engineering. My goal is we're going to build a couple satellites. But I know that, since I was misinformed, I thought that building satellites would open up a whole new venue of communications and stuff like that, but it doesn't, at least not yet. And I was thinking it would also get us some research points, but they don't, at least not yet. But I'm going to do a couple anyway, just to practice going into orbit. But I really want to get these smaller parts so that we can start working on building a lander for going to the moon. That's what I want to do. So that's our mission. We need a little bit more research so we can get to the moon. And we may not be able to get that research without sending a satellite to the moon first. And maybe a manned vehicle to the moon too. But we'll start with a satellite. We'll just throw a satellite into orbit real quick. Let's see. Now, I did build a preliminary craft I thought might be good. I call it the Llama Probe Launcher, which is basically built off the Llama Orbiter that we used. But now, instead of a command pod, I built a little satellite on top. And we got some communications relays and solar panels so that it stays powered. This Stay Putnik guy takes a buttload of power all the time. Look at him. Takes 54 charge per hour. Look at that. That's a lot of money right there. Electric money. But anyway, he lets us see how he's smaller form factor. He's for the smaller rockets, so we need to get that smaller form factor. Anyway, this is the launcher plancher I've built up for us. We're gonna give this a shot and see if we can get this Stay Putnik into an Earth orbit, probably equatorial style, right around the equator. And so, without further ado, let's do this and see what we can get going. I may have a satellite up. I don't know if I did it or not. We'll see. Alright, got all my engines ready. These things are out of whack. These are supposed to go down here. I don't know how this got out of whack. Let's try this. But you see what I got? Just 3 of the 6 boosters and 3 extended fuel tanks, a tricoupler, a regular fuel tank, and a small engine here for our little guy. So we're gonna give this a try, see if we can get a stay put. Wouldn't it be nice if they had some like shroud that you could put around this guy, cover him up and protect him on the way up, make it look a little bit more rocket-like? But I don't know, I guess not. Let's give it a shot. Power up, baby. SAS on. Ready? Then give me a 5, 4, 3, 2 fake. Let go. There we go. Going up. Going up. Up, up, up and away. Look at how fast, man, we take off like a boss. Ain't nothing getting in our way. Burns like a charm, man. Also got these little tiny engines on the side too, man. We shooting up so fast we're gonna catch fire. Look at that. Breaking wind on the way up. Get rid of those boosters. 10,000. Make my roll. Make my roll. Separate. Launch. Gotta do a little bit of finagle bobbing. May not be a perfect orbit, but we're going to try to make it as perfect as we can. Alright, let that go for a hot second. That's pretty stable looking. Pull up my gimbal. And let's just, once we get, yeah, I do have a satellite up. Once we get to like 100, I'm going to stop it. It'll probably sink a little bit, but that's okay. Let's set up a trajectory. Oops. See what we can get. I want it to be as close to perfect as I can get it. Alright, what do we got here? That ain't right. We got to adjust a little bit. Up, 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 up. Oh no, we're doing good. We're doing good. Periapsis should be right there. Maybe a little too much power. Pull that up. Shrink it down. So what do we got? 101, 111, a little bit less. That'll be good. 101 and 103. I'll take that. Let's see if we can make that happen. We got not a lot of fuel, but we should have plenty. Not a lot of fuel, but it should be okay. Let's see. First satellite, second satellite in space around planet Kerban, because I did do a practice one. But it is pretty easy. I mean, you saw our rocket. Basically, we're up here lightning quick. We didn't have to do it this fast. I could have built a much smaller rocket, but I like just doing it. Get up here. All that slow launch nonsense, that ain't for me, man. Get up. I'm gonna break air on my way up. Break it. Like a big old rocket fart. Just breaking wind in the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. You know you like it. Alright, time for burn. Go! Burn it! Burn it! Burn, go! Burn, go! Go, burn! Out of fuel. No problem. Came with extra. Because I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So we'll do this little burn here. Follow the little label. It basically just helps you get into orbit. You can do it manually, but this keeps me from having to switch back and forth between screens. You can kind of set a target for yourself, and it kind of monitors your progress like any simple computer would be able to do anyway. So that's nice. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and orbit. Let's see what we got. Oh, we kind of overshot a little bit. No problem. So what do we have? 75 down there. Ugh. 135. Well, when we get up here, we can increase this one to kind of make it evened out, even Steven. Right? Oh, dang it. Remove that. I done made a fool. Add maneuver. Alright, yeah. Prograde. Alright, we want to get to like 135, right? Oh, too much? Too much? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty much exact, right? Good. 134, 134. Oh, I like that one. That's a good orbit. Good orbit right there. We'll do that. So once we get to our apoapsis, we'll do a little burn. It's 7 minutes away to the next apoapsis. Man, I got that little gimbal thing installed, that SAS module up front, because this thing can't steer worth a darn. So you have to install one of those SAS modules. I'll show you what, because we're going to have to build another one, because we're trying to go to the moon and put a satellite up at the moon. And I have not been to the moon in this game, so we're going to do that together. Together. Let me speed up time a little bitty bit. It's not going to be a very big burn. It says 1 second burn. That ain't nothing. Speed up time a little bit more. Oh, not that much, buddy. 10 times maybe? And even that's pushing it. It's only a 1 second burn. We're going to wait until we get dead to that apoapsis. Oh, slow down. Okay. Get my screen oriented. Alright. 17, 15. We'll just wait until we get right up on 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And a burn. And done. Let's see how we did. Good enough for government cheese. Right? That's what I say. Let's check it out. How? Oh, we dead smack on. Look at that. Couldn't ask for a better orbit. Couldn't ask for one. That is perfect orbit. That is perfect. Almost exactly circular. Just right outside the other satellite. Perfect. Alright, so we could do this all day, every day. We could just keep adding satellites one ring after the other out here. Do them in different directions if we wanted to. We could do satellites around Earth. We got that. We got the equipment for it. We can pump them up here. How much time did that take? No time. 13 minutes. I fast forwarded a little bit. 13 minutes, satellite in orbit, our rocket does the job. So, Space Center. Let's talk satellites that can do research. Right? Blank sheet. Let's talk satellites that do research, because we're going to the moon. It's going to take a lot of power to get there. Now this thing weighs slightly less than the command module. And it's a pain in the butt. So what I'm thinking is, maybe if I send the Stay Putnik up to begin with, we can do our research and transmit it back. And it won't be as good quality, because when you do a transmission, it doesn't give you as many research points. But if we can do a little bit of research at the moon and just practice getting there, I think that we'll be able to unlock some stuff that'll help us get people, or at least a one-man crew, to the moon. And that's what our goal is. So let's do a satellite around the moon first. Let's see. What are we going to need? Well, it's going to need fuel. It's going to need a lot of fuel. No. Science. Science? Yeah. Okay. Let's build the satellite and then we'll power it later. Okay, we need a science module. We want to be able to take the temperature of the moon, or at least the orbit or where we are around the moon. Let's do that. The science thing can't be reset, but at least we can do one science reading in orbit around the moon. That'll give us a little bit. And we can continuously take temperature readings. That doesn't have to be reset. Maybe a couple goo pods. That's good. That's good right there. So those are pretty much the only experiments we'll be able to do. We got to be able to transmit data back. These guys are a little slower, but whatever. They'll do the job. Now, I think in the future they intend for your satellites to be able to like receive and send data. So like from the moon, you'd be able to have your satellites talk to your satellites at Earth, or excuse me, Kerban, and then transmit data back to base. I think that's how they want to do it in the future. It isn't that way yet, but maybe someday. Let's get some gas on this puppy, and we want our little baby engine. We're not going to land it, it's just going to float in space. And so, oh, dang it, forgot my batteries. Definitely need a battery pack. Get you on there, and get you plugged back in. Oh, it's looking like a pretty banging satellite already. Look at that. Okay, we're not landing it, so we can just basically pepper this thing with tons of solar panels to make sure our battery stays fully charged, so we can take all kinds of readings. All right, yeah, we want to be able to, because it's a really long distance, so it's gonna take a ton of juice to send a transmission. All right, so that, I think that will be our first researching satellite right there. So we're gonna call this the Llama Munar. Llama Munar. That satellite. That perfect. Good name. Makes sense, right? And now we need a Llama Munar satellite launcher. Something that's going to get this heavy freaking thing into space. I wish there was a way you could check out its current stats, like how heavy it is, but don't think there is. Alright, we're going to have to decouple this puppy, right? And let's see if we can't add... let's see if we can't add another stage just to help it get into orbit around the moon. Vectoring engine there. Do I want this? This does add a little bit of height. Maybe I don't want that extra height. Maybe that's with these radial mount engines. And actually 3 or 4 of these engines, look. What do you got? Thrust. Max thrust 120. This guy's 200. So if I put 3 of these, I've got over 300. I've actually got a ton more thrust. Maybe I just need 2 of them. They don't sip fuel per se. They do eat a lot of gas, but hopefully we won't really need them that bad. So let's do them side by side, like, and I want to get them pretty close to the base, like that, maybe, like that. Yeah, look at that. Okay, and this will control this in space, no problem. Now we're gonna need, let's see, decoupler, and we're gonna have to be able to control this huge rocket that we're gonna use to send this thing up. So let's put that, we put that little reaction wheel there, because basically that acts as having another command pod's worth of control over your rocket. Pitch torque 20, yaw torque 20, roll torque 20. Good stuff. That's why I'm putting that there. You can stack them. What is this? Oh, you can't. That's a mod I was testing in what's it called mode, sandbox mode. So I won't be using any of that. I didn't think it would play in creative and what do you call it? Career mode. I didn't think they would be available, but it is. So I might take that out. But yeah, that's a mod. McJeb. Let's see. What am I looking for? This guy! Triple stager. Triple stager. Like that. Look at that. And now we need some fuel on it. Can we triple fuel? Now, we're gonna need a lot of fuel. A lot. But we gotta get up into space first. So let's throw some stages on. Going to the moon, man. Now the satellite launcher was just this stage and some rockets on it. So I'm actually adding an extra stage here. If I do this again, which I'm going to, throw this on. Looks good. And put some more engines on. And I like to adhere to a philosophy. So for every one fuel tank, you need at minimum one engine below it. So here I've got 3 fuel tanks, 1 engine below each. But then I got above this engine 2 fuel tanks, because you have to consider everything above it. So 2 fuel tanks. So now I actually need 2 more engines down here, 1 for each of these tanks that it also has to lift. So we need some fancy pants decouplers. Let's save my progress thus far. Oh, I lost my decoupler. Let's see, fancy pants decouplers. 1 on each of these bad boys. And I'm gonna couple it in 2 places. Because I've experienced with these decouplers that sometimes they can be naughty. So I'll decouple it at the very base, and I'll couple it at the very top as well. See? And we'll just put all these couplings together on the same stage. Good? Alright, good. Let's get more of these fuel tanks. Right? Right? Yep. Or I could actually, what I could do, because if I just want to burn this fuel fast to get into outer space, I'm going to do an experiment. I don't want to lift up a whole nother fuel tank. Maybe, hang on, folks, hang on, because I'm a thinker. Hang on with me, bear with me a second. What if I do small tanks, and the purpose of these tanks is to just hold the engine? Do I have fuel lines yet? Have we learned the fuel line? Utility. No. Oh, we don't have fuel lines. I saw someone use them in a video, but we don't have them. Dang it. Alright, so back to plan A. We're gonna have to add another fuel tank, but that's okay. That's okay. That's fine. No big deal. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. I can do this. I believe. I believe. Get that lined up like. Look at that. That's perfect. And see, now all of those couplers are working together to hold on these guys. So it's coupled at top, it's coupled at the bottom. And I've got this space reserved for some boosters if I need it. Let's get some aerodynamics on there. Bam. And let's get some more engines on there. Alright, so now we've got a 5, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6 engine plane at the bottom, 3 engines in the middle, 1 engine at top. So there's 1 engine for at least 1 engine for every tank, which is the way I like it. Every tank above the engine. So that's how I like it. So we got 3, 4 tanks, 6 engines. Good, right? You see how I'm talking? So there's 3 tanks here, 1 tank up there. You got to add those up. That's 4 tanks sitting above the engines down here that these engines have to lift. So you have to have at least 4 engines down here to lift these 4 tanks. But you've also got to consider the tanks that are sitting directly on top of the engines down here. So go ahead and throw in a couple extra for those as well. Alright, we'll start with this. This will just be a trial run. My alarm's going off, telling me I gotta wrap this up. So let's put it in space. Launch. Let's see how stable it'll be. Might have to add some supports, might have to put some boosters on it, but I want to say that the Llama Lunar Mooner is gonna be just fine the way it is. I want to say that. It's probably not. I didn't even look to set all this up, so no idea. No idea. Go. Stuff falling off already. Good times. Get them. Why are my engines no fire? Alright, no. Hold on. I gotta set up. Oh my gosh. I gotta set up when engines are gonna fire at the very least. All engines fire at the same time. All 6. These decouplers go up here. Very good. Okay. Wait, what are you decoupling? Oh, bother. I don't know what's what. What are you decoupling? What are you decoupling? Oh, man. Alright, dang it. Hold on a second. Okay, and we're back. I think I figured out all my coupling issues there. Without any further ado, let's blow this joint. Go. And a little wobbly, but let's just see how we do. SAS module doing its thing, I hope. Oh, mercy, we rotate a little bit. No big deal. Nice and easy, girl. Nice and easy. Going up. Using fuel. We're going up at a pretty good pace. This is like an average pace. No big deal. This is, hopefully, will get us out of the thickest part of the atmosphere. Then we're going to kick into our main stage. To get into, I guess, an Earth orbit. I'm hoping. Might have to tighten this up. And then throws those boosters on there. I had a feeling I would anyway. But look, we're at the 10,000 mark already. I start my roll. And get rid of that. And go. Oh, yeah. A little better control now. Let's try to get into an orbit of some kind. Any kind. Good one. Would be nice. But I'll take what I can get. Yeah, we're growing. Growing up. Moving on to bigger, better things. Going to the moon. We're not going to make the moon, I can tell you that. I used too much fuel getting up here. So, no big deal. We know now that we need those boosters on there. I think the boosters will help. But let's see if I can just get to like 90. I think that's all I need. 90. That'll do. Let's see if we can set up a nice little tiny orbit around the planet. Don't even care if it's elliptical or not. Let's just get in orbit. Straighten you up a little bit. Straighten you up. Don't even need to be that big. Don't even need it. Don't even need to be that big. Good enough. Good enough. Back to the game here. Get lined up. We got burn here in a moment. Okay. Yeah, and we are in space. So we have now exited the atmosphere. Cue the music. Alright. Looking good. Looking good. Coming up on burn in 1 minute. Let's go ahead and fast forward time just a tad. Just a tad. Alright. And we're going to go ahead and execute that maneuver I'll wait until, like, what, 20 seconds? Probably don't even have 20 seconds worth of fuel left. But, whatever. We'll see. We'll see. See how it goes. Go. Do it. Do the burn. Do the burn, baby. Do the burn. Do it. Come on. Make orbit. I'm really hoping I've got enough. Hoping I've got enough. Nah. I've got to put those boosters on the bottom there. Gotta do it. Need more engines. And go! Go! Don't use up all my fuel. Alright, we should have some kind of orbit. Maybe not a great one. Yep. Yeah, okay. Good. I can get rid of that. Okay. We do have quite a bit of fuel left. And the satellite is not coming home with us. So we just got to get it to the moon and in orbit around the moon. We don't have to worry about getting it back. That's all we're trying to do is get it to the moon. And might have enough fuel to do so. So that's interesting that these engines read that they have separate fuel supplies. Actually, it's just the one fuel tank. So, which in hindsight, I probably should have made a extended fuel tank. But whatever. Alright, alright. Moon. Where be? Moon here. Moon here. Now, if, because the moon's moving around at the same, you know what? We're out of time. We're out of time. So you're gonna have to, you gotta tune in next time. Then we're gonna see if we can get this satellite around the moon on the first try with a ship we've never used. Well, actually, second try because the first one didn't work. Second try with a ship that we've used. So tune in when we go put a satellite in orbit around moon. Velocity 542. 11 million meters. That's far away. Every time, Mr. High Llama, very far away.